Well, everyone, I set out to do 3 laps, a total of 50 miles. Unfortunately, I was only able to do 2 out of the 3, and man, was it hard. Yeah, before I start talking about the recap of the race, please, anybody that's an experienced rider or a racer, please leave your tips down below about how I can improve and other people can with their racing skills. Things like climbing, the switching of gears, or whatever it may be that helps you accelerate at being a better racer. I'd love to hear it down in the comments below. Thanks. First off, I want to tip my hat to everybody that competed in the race. It was pretty hard course, in my opinion, and just to see everybody's skills and their different levels of expertise tearing up the course, it was pretty impressive to watch everybody race, and man, it made me realize I had a huge learning curve and lots of steps to go to become a good mountain biker. So yeah, everybody that raced, and especially the winners, great job. Oh, well, what can I say about the race, my first race, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be challenging and hard. So the way the trail was set up was the first 6.5 miles were set up on the walking path there at the TK Lawless Park. You were going to cut across the field first where the starting line was at, into the walking paths, went across a couple of cornfields at one point in time, and then also you go back through the woods onto a paved path. Then it'd connect all the way up to the 10-mile course, which is normal TK Lawless. So it was about a 16-mile, I think just a little over 16-mile lap, and the goal was to do 3 of them. Well, I got 2 out of 3. Let's see, that's what I did. Yeah, so when the starting gun went off, I didn't try to race up to the pack. I was just going to go slow, pace myself. I just wanted to finish. But man, it was fun. Flying into the woods, going at pace with everybody, keeping up, and it was thrilling. But man, those first 6.5 miles on those walking paths were so brutal, it just zapped me there. Right away, I was so tired and I was regretting signing up for a 3-lap race. But, I think my biggest problem was I was dehydrated.
All right, I'm like halfway through this first lap of 3, and I'm realizing I made a huge mistake. I am so tired. I got a tension headache in the back of my neck, back of my skull. I think I'm doing 1 lap and done.
Right away, I started getting a tension headache in the back of my head, the back of my neck, and I was just, man, I don't know if this is worth it. I was kind of losing a little bit of my mental focus and whatnot, but I at that point in time was drinking plenty of water. I was trying to hopefully, feel better. But I was telling you, man, by the end of that first lap, I was beat, and I was pretty sure I was going to quit because I was starting to get a little bit of a Charlie horse, a little bit of a cramp right at the top of my thighs, right by my knees. But what happened was, I came around the corner outside of the track, all the tents were there, everybody lined up by the finish line. People were cheering, people were saying my name. I was like, oh man, I can't just quit right now. So I got a little bit more energized. I slogged through that field. I was like, man, should I just maybe get to this end of this field and quit? Well, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit better. Let's go on. Let's see if I can keep doing it. Like I said, that first 6 miles of the course was so brutal compared to the 10 miles of this mountain bike track. I'm not sure what it was. If it was because I had some spots that were muddy that made it real thick to pedal through, but what kept getting me were the long inclines, the longer climbs. It was just a hard warm-up the first time. It zapped me so much that I was afraid of it coming up next time. So on lap 2, some of those climbs is when I really started to cramp up to the point where my whole thighs were seasoned. And I was like Sigourney Weaver and Aliens, man. They were just spasming, moving all about. They looked disgusting. It was gross. I would have to jump off the bike a couple times on those climbs. I had to walk 1 or 2 of them because my legs were just so far gone at that point. At the 6-mile point of the lap, there's a chance to kind of go off at the pavilion right when the start is, and I was, to be honest, I should have quit then because my legs were gone. But I decided to go on. I was like, man, I'm going to do this second lap. I'll be happy with 32 miles, and nothing to be ashamed of. But I was wrong. So yeah, a couple miles into the second lap on the TK Lawless section of the course. So I'd probably guesstimate roughly probably like a 23 mile mark. my legs were locking out straight and I couldn't even bend them anymore. They would lock out straight, couldn't pedal, and I didn't know what to do. So I'd bail off the bike, was trying to rub out the legs, but they were just, like I said, spasming all around. Butt cheeks were locking up, everything. I was completely dehydrated. And I'll be honest, I've actually never experienced anything like that before to that level. So I was slightly worried, concerned, like, hey man, I'm out in the woods, you know. I didn't want to also look like a wimp or, you know, I'm mentally tougher than that. So it's like I wanted to finish, but literally my legs are like, not today, man. You ain't having it.
Mechanical?
No, it's cramps. Engine failure.
So unfortunately, that's what happened to me. You know, I had the cardio, I had the stamina in my mind. I mean, but obviously my body was not conditioned or prepared, or was I properly hydrated or had the right nutrients and doing anything right. I went in there as a fool trying to do a 50-mile race when I'm a completely out of shape couch potato for the most part. You know, lesson learned, reality check. Got a piece of humble pie served to me, and you know, I mowed it down. So that being said, you know, I learned a lot about myself, and I'm pretty proud of that. I went 32 miles. I'm pretty proud that I went those last 8 miles or so, 7 miles with my legs just completely gone too, because that was a trek in itself, and it took so much more time than it should have. And so it was a sad event, to be honest. But I did it. I didn't quit. I didn't just sit there and cut through the woods, take a path off. I did my 2 laps. I got 32 miles in, and you know, man, a week later, whew, these thighs pretty muscular. They're feeling pretty good now, man. I could do some squats like you wouldn't believe. I don't know. So doing this race has given me some new goals now to prepare for. It's not about doing a 50-mile race or something like that again here in the near future, but it's about the little things that would help me prepare for something like that again. So I want to lose weight, and I definitely want to start putting on more base miles into my rides. So instead of just doing 1 lap of 7 miles or 10 miles here, I want to start doubling up so I can get that 15, 20 miles as my base is what I do. And of course, another thing I want to do is working on my nutrition. That comes with the losing weight. You know, big part of losing weight is more not necessarily about exercising, but about your diet. So I want to start eating better, start eating healthier, and I think I need to start drinking more water, because I've just been getting zapped like crazy ever since that race, and I just cannot seem to get rehydrated a little bit. So yeah, I'd like to thank everybody out there that gave me some supportive comments, who were cheering me on, who were making me feel pretty pumped up about it and getting me all hyped up. And especially afterwards, everybody that gave me some encouraging words when I was down and out there about not finishing the race. So without you guys, you know, I wouldn't even be doing the channel, so I really appreciate it, and that kind of feedback is what I do it for. So thanks a lot, I really appreciate it. I also want to give a huge shout out to Nimba, Iron True Distillery, Golden Bear Bikes, I think it was Cass County Parks Department, you know, everybody else that was out there sponsoring the race, you know, made it happen. Afterwards, there was live music playing, handing out the awards, there was great food to be had. So I'm looking forward to it next year. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to try to compete into a 50-mile race, but I'll be damned if I don't go ahead and try to do something involved with the race. Most likely the single lap. Who knows? Yeah, I appreciate you watching this recap. If you want, check out some of the other videos. I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, the Michiana Madman just rolled through. The Michiana Madman, check him out on YouTube. Give him a like, you subscribe. You know how it is. Hit the button. He does review all of our trails in the area, and it's actually pretty informative if you don't know anything about our trails. So yes, in all seriousness, Michiana Madman, check him out on YouTube.